Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV2. The main talking points on tonight's programme. Kenny Miller back in the fold after clear-the-air talks with the Rangers manager. The SFA will discuss Gordon Strachan's position as national boss on Thursday. Scotland are the lowest ranked home nation in the UEFA Nations League. Yeah, just a few of the talking points we'll be discussing. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin, and it's a Wednesday, so I'm delighted that our bookroom guest is former Rangers and Scotland midfielder Barry Ferguson. Lots to talk about on the programme tonight. No surprise that the Scotland fallout still dominates everybody's thoughts. We're going to get to that in a minute. But the big news is that Pedro Caixinha seems to have made peace, Barry Ferguson, with Kenny Miller.
Great. That's all I can say, to be honest with you. When it first came out about things coming out the dressing room, I says on this programme, I didn't think Kenny was that type of guy. I've known Kenny a long time, so he's an important player for Rangers, and I'm just glad it's all finished with. He can let his football do the talk now and get back on the pitch and hopefully get back to the form that he showed last season and scoring some goals.
And of course, I mean, let's be blunt about it, if he does get back in, this potentially is his last season. Yeah,
it looks like that. Kenny's 37, coming on 38, and I'm sure the last couple of weeks has been really difficult for him. I can imagine I've been through something similar myself, as everybody knows. So he'll be hurting inside, but listen, I know what sort of professional he is. I seen him went down to Brentford, I think, last weekend and played with the 20s. He wouldn't have caused any problems there. He'd have went down and actually been a help to the younger boys. He's went down, played really well according to the reports, and I'm just glad it's all finished with now and he can get back to let his football do the talking.
This is what the Rangers manager Pedro Caixinha made of the whole affair.
Kenny's one of our players from the squad, like all the others. We always use the term equity, so that means all of them are having the same respect and behavior from our side. So, but I'm the manager. I decide the players who are going to start the games. I decide the players that are going to be on the squad, and I also decide the players that are going to be out of the squad. So, Kenny's definitely one of ours, and like all the others, depends on my decisions.
Yeah, he lives or dies by the teams that he selects.
Yeah, he certainly does. You know, and I think if he doesn't realise that now, he'll never realise it. That obviously we get knocked out of Europe. It's just the pressure is on in every game now. But as we all know, and being in the game, you win games, and everything goes away. So that's the most important thing they need to do, is just keep winning games week on until the big games come along. And if you could win one of these big ones, if there's anybody out there doubting them, maybe that will just change their mind.
Is every game a potential minefield for him, Barry?
As I says after the Old Firm game, it was a disappointing performance. There's no two ways about it. But listen, they got a response. I says going to Douglas Park, they had to win the game. They did that 4-1. It wasn't a great performance, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. A good performance comes second for me. They went and done a job, and they've got another difficult game up at McDermott Park. I know myself, going up there, it's always difficult. Tommy Wright, for me, a top manager. He's got a lot of good players, so they need to just keep winning. I don't care how they play, it's just about getting 3 points. I was going to say on a Saturday, I know it's Friday night, but each game, as Ruffy says, getting the 3 points, and then when it comes up against your Aberdeens and Celtics, make sure your form's good getting into the games, and that will breed confidence.
As ever, every game seems to deliver a wind-up or a little bit of needle. There's one in this one, Stephen McLean saying that maybe Pedro Caixinha should concentrate on stopping the leaks rather than trying to wind up the St Johnstone players. I think he was talking about comparing St Johnstone to Morton in that behind closed doors game that Rangers played. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is exactly what you want in football. You want that little bit of needle.
Yeah, but these are the kind of things you would think he would have learnt by now. You know, just to not say anything at all, just go the opposite way and just say, look, I've got a really difficult game away from home. We need to go up there and play our best instead of winding. I don't think he's doing it deliberately. I think he's just just saying things that he shouldn't be. And if you're in a St Johnstone camp, these kind of things do wind you up. You know, and the bottom line is, at the end of the day, you've now got somebody who shouldn't be trying any harder anyway, because when Rangers come calling, you should be playing the best of your game. But he certainly got them fired up, and you know, that's something you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, and there's a suggestion from the Rangers manager that maybe there was a leak in the way his team were going to set up against St Johnstone at the tail end of last season as well. I mean, if you're good enough, and you're playing for Rangers, you know, who cares if they know you're going to play 4-3-3, 4-4-2? Who cares?
Oh, listen, they know the way they set up. No matter what manager's there, whether it's a 4-3-3 or 4-5-1, the teams know when you're playing against them. They know what way you set up and normally what the starting 11's going to be. In terms of league, there's all sorts of people that walk about Murray Park, so you can't just say that it's coming for the dressing room. It could be for anywhere. I mean, people can walk their dogs past the golf course and have a peek in and have a look. But that shouldn't matter. Listen, we all know what formation Pedro goes with, and normally it's 8 or 9 trusted players that he goes with week in, week out. So I don't see that being an issue.
Yeah, I'm having a look at you closely, Barry, just to see how tall you are and if, you know, genetically you're in any way challenged, because it's been rearing its ugly head this week. I have to say, before I get Barry's thoughts on it, Ruffy, I have never witnessed so many people jumping on this to beat Gordon Strachan over the head with it. I mean, just picking up on what he was saying, it's clearly about us trying to defend with physically stronger, taller centre halves. We don't have them.
No, and I think you're right, you know, but that's what the media do. You know, they pick on things like that and they use it to their advantage. Not all the media, because if you buy all the papers, you can see who's for them, who's against them. And I think if you really look closely at it, the people who weren't for them are still not for them. You know, so as you say, it looks as if it's an excuse. I think Gordon, being honest enough, would probably have said, look, I wish I hadn't said that, because all he's done is given them, you know, something to write about. But if you analyse it and what he's trying to say, as what you said there, it's we don't have big defenders to pick up big people coming into the box, and that's all he's trying to say. I don't think he's trying to change the whole genetic thing.
Well, he's gave us a lot. It's interesting read and interesting comments what he said, but I look at the team that played in Slovenia. You've got Barry and Mulgrew, who are 6'2", 6'3", Dan Fletcher 6'1", Chris Martin 6'2", Craig Gordon 6'4", so we're not the smallest. But I can see his point as well, because I do go to some games, like if you go down to England, and I played in the Premier League, but I also played in the Championship. Now, quite a number of players you play in the Championship. I think the smallest guy I came up against in midfield was about 6'2". Up here, you go to some of the games and the midfielders are smaller. He has got a point, but we have got big players as well.
I don't think
size shouldn't come into it, but
no. Should the level of I don't think. I mean, you mentioned Barry and Mulgrew, but Barry and Mulgrew are really makeshift as far as one of them is of a certain standard. No disrespect to Christophe Berry's doing his best. He's at Hearts. He's played at Ipswich.
Yep.
We don't really have guys that are playing at the top level. Charlie Mulgrew's not a centre half. You know, he can get.
He's done a great job.
He has actually, and he's fitted in there and taken one for the team. But I mean, I've said all this week, if we had Gareth McCauley and Johnny Evans, I think we'd be going to Russia.
Yeah, listen, we do like quality centre halves. There's no doubt, but I've got to defend Charlie Mulgrew and Barry. I think since probably the England game at Hampden, they've been excellent for us. I mean, it's been this case for a number of years. I think the last, like a Davy Weir, somebody like a Davy Weir, who I played with.
A Richard Gough.
A Richard Gough, you could go on. But we do like some serious quality centre backs. But I've got to be honest, Charlie and Christophe have done a good job for me.
Yeah. Were you disappointed? Was there something that you would like to have seen happen that didn't happen in that game?
I mean, I've got a number of was disappointed, frustrated. I was looking forward to the game on Sunday. Sitting doing my cup of tea and my biscuits, looking forward to it. After Thursday night, I know it took a lot out of the boys, but I thought we thoroughly deserved to win the game. We had enough chances. But people forget, when you go down to 10 men, Ruff will tell you, it's one of the most difficult things to do is play against 10 men, because they sit back and make it difficult. I know we used a lot of energy. We looked tired on Sunday, but forget, Slovenia played England at Wembley on Thursday night, and England had the vast majority of possession, so there was no difference there. I just felt we lacked that cutting edge, that bite about us, that determination, what I was fully expecting. So I was disappointed in that sense, because if I'm being honest, I thought we would have got through to the playoffs. I thought we would have beat Slovenia. Now, no disrespect to Slovenia, but we should be beating teams like that. I know they've got good players. I know Gordon had mentioned that physically they're quite a big team, but I believe we're just as every bit as good as them. And it disappointed me that we didn't get through, because I did think after the result on Thursday night we would have done it. Yeah,
okay, I'm going to get your thoughts on whether the manager should stay or go, whether one of your midfield partners should stay or go as well. Coming up after the break, we'll talk about Scotland some more. We'll also discuss the under-21s, and we'll look at the domestic scene, which returns at the weekend as well. Join us after the break if you can. We were so far away from that, guys, it defies belief, but nevertheless, 1991, did you get it? Okay, still staying on the Scotland theme, should the manager stay or should the manager go in your eyes?
I think it's going to be left down to Gordon Strachan, if I'm being honest. I know they've called a meeting, I think it's Thursday, if I'm right. Would I like to see him stay? I think there's been progression, certainly, in the group. At the start of the campaign, I was thinking, oh, this is going to go belly up here, but fair play to Gordon and fair play to the guys as well in the squad. They got us back on track, and they got me thinking that we were going to get the playoffs no problem. So again, if you go and get a new manager, I don't know. I quite like him. I do. I've got to be honest with you. I know a lot of people don't, but I like him.
So you reckon he should stay?
I know he was going to ask me. I think he should stay. I do. You a bit gobsmacked at that?
No. I mean, if you say he's going to stay because you think
but
we can go even further, we can go. Do you think we're going to get better again? With him?
I think what he needs to do now is look to the future. We've got a lot of good young players. I've mentioned before in this programme, McGinn, McGregor. I think we've got the two best full-backs probably in British football, and Tierney and Robertson. I don't think you'll get many better even in an England team. I think the two guys are better than that. We've got a goal scorer up front in Lee Griffiths, who I think he's only 27. I think now we should start to look, maybe not to 2020, maybe 2022. Try and give I know a lot of people say they've not got experience, right? Let's go and play them. Let's go and see how they can handle the occasion, because club football, as Raphael will tell you, is totally different to international football. So let's go and let them see how they do. And I think the more games they get international level, they'll grow into good players. Because I believe I've got good players.
Do you think the SFA should be deciding rather than the person who's being employed by them?
No, I think it will be Gordon's decision. I think they're happy with him. I think the vast majority of fans, certainly over the second half of the campaign, you've seen the fans getting behind them a lot more, sell-out crowds. I know Malta wasn't a sell-out crowd, but yeah, certainly the game in Thursday night against Slovakia, the atmosphere was good.
Okay, let me talk about one of your former teammates. Scott Brown says he'll stay if Gordon Strachan remains as the manager. Should he stay regardless?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about this about Scott Brown and Dan Fletcher. They're obviously the other side of 30 now. And I'll go back to what I said a couple of minutes ago. I think it is important that you do have a bit of experience in the team, but I think we should look further ahead now and start to give the young players the opportunities. Even the guys I mentioned, the under-21s, you've got Burke, who was in the full setup. He's been put down to the under-21s. Physically, he's a specimen, a man. He's a big physical guy. And I believe there's 2 or 3 what I'm hearing in under 21s, it could make a step up at any time. So I think now it's time to let's feed these guys in and give them the opportunity, but also it is important that you have got a few experienced boys round about them to guide them.
So you wouldn't be unhappy if he stayed, if Gordon Strachan was there, Scott Brown?
No, because I've said plenty of times before over the last couple of years, for me he's become a leader of men. Certainly since Brendan Rodgers came in, he's took his game to a different level. Now, again, he did retire, he's come back. Will he look at that? Will it be too many games for him? We don't know, but I do think it's important that you have got a good mixture. But I would go with the vast majority of younger players mixed in with 2 or 3 experienced ones.
What do you make of the Brown situation, Ruffy?
Yeah, well, I think the only reason that Brown's back there is because of Gordon. You know, obviously the two of them on the communication with each other when Scott said, no, I've got to watch myself, I'm getting on, you know, and Gordon's obviously went on, convinced him that he's a big player, as Barry said, for us, and he is a big player, you know, and I really do think if Gordon was to go away, he wouldn't take part at all. I think he would concentrate on the club football, and you wouldn't hold that against him. I think he's been great, you know, and Barry said you can see the difference when he's in the team. You know, I'm just wondering if he did stay there, would he be the guy Barry's talking about with the youngins either side of him, you know, and just showing them what it's all about, you know, and take a leaf for him, you know, because that's what he does when he's on the park. So he might be the guy who, if Gordon stayed, to bring these young players on. Yeah,
the other thing I was going to say to you guys is former First Minister Henry McLeish has said, listen, we're running out of excuses with regards to Scotland, whether it's genetics or whether it's we're just not good enough or whatever. He said there needs to be a change in the balance of power between country and club football.
In terms of what you're talking about, like the Scott Brown situation?
Just basically that club football seems to be more important.
No, I think if you... No, I don't agree with that. I think if you ask any player that's in that squad, they're desperate to play with their country. I don't think they look upon it like a Scott Brown, for instance, at Celtic. You know, it is important that he's playing at a high level in the Champions League, but if you ask Scott Brown, he'll give his right arm to play with Scotland. I don't agree with that comment. Yeah,
I'll tell you why I look, and I'm reading Henry McLeish's comments on a change in the power, because obviously I think he feels as if the SFA should have more say in the way Scottish football goes. But I tend to treat it all with disdain now, because we've ditched 2 think tanks. We haven't embraced the majority of them. I'd love to know what percentage of Henry McLeish's recommendations you know, we've embraced and put into operation, you know, and the type of things that we spend a lot of money on that we ditched, Ruffy, because you know we can look for excuses on technique, we can look for excuses on physique. You know, I think when I look at the cold light of day, I think players need to work harder at their professionalism. I think they need to work harder technically. I also think we need to change the structure and the mindset of a league, which is basically 7 clubs trying to avoid relegation, 4 who'll be happy to finish second, and 1 team who completely and utterly control Scottish football. That's it in a nutshell, you know. And when the money starts to come back in, watch the percentage of home-based players who get a kick of the ball. Because clubs are ruled by fear. We've got managers getting sacked right, left and centre. We've got players that, you know, in your time, the generation of players, Derek McInnes couldn't get a game for Rangers. You had to move somewhere else. You know, because quite simply there was 2 or 3 generations of players that didn't get a game because, you know, clubs like the Celtic and Rangers had money, so they bought foreign players.
I think you made a great point, going back to younger players spending a lot more time on working on things like you've got your normal training session in the morning, afternoon staying behind. When I was younger, we get made stayed behind. It wasn't our choice. Like my coaches at the time, John McGregor and John Brown, no, you're in the afternoon, you've got to work at this side of your game. And I would go and spend 45 minutes, 1 hour an afternoon. And again, physically, I wasn't big. So you've got to do stuff in the gym. I keep hearing people saying, physically we're no big, we're not fit enough. Well, there's only 2 things to do about that. Go in the gym, spend a bit more time in the gym, and go and make yourself fitter. Go and do extra running. If you're doing a training session, go and do an extra 10-15 minutes. What is the problem there? But they just like to do their training, jump in the car and off they go.
And the argument over players that get the chance, to play? Because home-based players need to be given the chance to actually go and play top-level football.
Yeah, we've had this discussion on the show on numerous occasions. That the biggest problem there's not enough good young players playing in the first team at the majority of the clubs. I mean, there are a wee sprinkling here and there, but even although when they get a chance, they're nowhere near a Scotland squad just getting into the first team. So they've got to be in the first team for maybe 2 or 3 years. But I still think the kids need to be going to big competitions. The under-21s need to be qualifying for the competition they're in to go away, and then when they come back and their managers, you would hope their managers would say that you're good enough for my first team. I don't need to go out and spend money somewhere else because you're good enough.
Yeah, but the other thing about it, Barry, is as well, we're talking about 10 years. 10 years ago is the last time I think a club out with Celtic or Rangers qualified for the Europa League. Can't get past the qualifiers.
No, we can't get past
Standards not good enough.
I know, but I'll go back to what you were saying about younger boys trying to get them through. I worked at the lower levels, and I would go and ask for probably maybe the best under 20, a 19, 20-year-old, come and play at a level. Listen, it's not a great level in terms of you're not going to get 5,000 fans, but you're going to play against guys at 30, 32 who have played at a level. No, they wanted to keep them because they wanted to win an under 20 league. So they wouldn't let them come out and loan. I got 1 or 2, and you could see the difference. They get a fright of their lives when they come in and played against the adults, because this under 20 system, listen, I'm all for young boys, but I don't like it. I don't. These 19, 18, 19-year-olds have been playing against the same boys for 8 and 9 years in this pro youth system. So we need to scrap that. Bring back the reserve league football. We've spoken about it before, where you're a 16, 17-year-old, you're playing against a guy who's not played in the first team on a Saturday. You'll go and play in the reserves to get some match fitness. I would be playing with guys who have played 250 games, 300 games, but also I'd be playing against guys who played the same amount of games. So I was learning both sides of it, learning off who I'm playing against and learning off who I'm playing with.
Yep. Okay, as you can tell, we're at Wednesday and we're still arguing after we've been knocked out on Sunday. We're going to talk about the under-21s and we'll also look to some of the domestic football as well. We'll hear from one of Barry's old teammates, Stephen Smith, and we'll also hear from Player of the Month, Louis Moult at Motherwell coming up. Did you get that, Ruffy?
No,
I
I didn't.
No, you got it. You have. Oh, hey, nothing like claiming the goal right away.
I was still trying to get my head around the allowance that he gives himself to live on.
Who?
David.
Yeah, I did. I actually saw that, Ruffy. Yeah, the figures for Beckham. Was he, just out of curiosity, I was reading that article about David Beckham and the amount of money that he earns now, and he's a wealthy man. Did you think at one point he was world class?
Yeah, I really liked him. I played against him a few times. Met him in person as well. Down to earth. I just thought he was quality. I did.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen
world class.
I did. I honestly thought that.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Because he had to work at his game. That's what I liked about him. If you watch documentaries or programmes on him, we were talking about it earlier about younger boys. I mean, he knew himself that he had to go out in that training ground and spend hours and hours practising free kicks, corner kicks, and look where it got him. Yeah,
I agree. I thought he was world class at one point, Ruffy. Do you?
Yeah, I think when you go into an England team and you control everything, you know, and that's what he did. You know, everybody was looking for him, in particular with all the good players they had, but he was the one that had to come up with something special. He was the one that came up with a free kick to take them to the World Cup against Greece, and 9 times out of 10, he made things happen, and he was good to watch.
Okay, I'm going to try my absolute best to explain this to you in detail, but the UEFA Home Nations, or the UEFA Nations League, is coming out, and basically we are in League C. Now, here are all the teams involved in this. Let me explain to you. As you can see, there's League A, League B, League C and League D. These are basically teams that are going to play each other so that we have, you know, I won't say that there'll be no more meaningless friendlies, but these teams will eventually play each other. And the competition for this is going to start in September 2018. And there'll be 4 qualifying spots for Euro 2020. And it will also determine the composition of the draw pots for the Euro 2020 qualifiers as well. So as well as playing the qualifiers, there's an opportunity for 4 teams to go straight to the Euros. Is that clear, Ruffy?
Yeah. So would the good scenario be of that, if you got a section of 4 and 3 of the other teams have already qualified from that competition, then you've got a better chance of qualifying? Because they're already there.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I haven't a Scooby, Ruffy. I'm going to be honest with you. I've looked at it and I've thought to myself, okay, surely this is another chance for us to make it. So basically, the lower tier countries, the bottom 16 in the rankings, are now guaranteed one of the 24 slots for the Euros. So teams in the lower 16 have got a chance of making it. That's the first thing in this. There's going to be promotion and relegation between the divisions. We are seeded in League C. So
we only play teams from League C?
Yes. So that's a
how many's in the group?
I just showed you there. If you,
no, there's hundreds of them.
Do you want me to count them for you?
I think it's a group of 20 people who are not going to play each other.
So listen to this. Each of the 4 tiers, A, B, C, I'm glad I wrote this down because with you on the programme I have to. Each of the 4 tiers, A, B, C and D, will contain 4 groups of 3 or 4 teams, with these decided in a draw on Wednesday 24th in Switzerland. So basically...
Oh, I see. So we're in Group C, we have another group of 4 from Group C.
So you play against we're seeded.
We can't get out of that when we're struggling.
Well, you know.
Well, it'd be fair, when you look at that group, we should be beating teams in that group.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. And
or sack the manager.
But again, it gives you a chance, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Again, most of the teams in that Group C are all wee guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
No big players in any of these countries.
You know, what did I tell you? On Monday's programme, I said, Gordon, why did you say that? I knew he was going to get slaughtered for it. And I knew that they were going to pick up on the wrong end of what he meant. Because by the time Gordon Strachan speaks again, he will have to explain to people who, I mean, I think the majority of people were looking for something to beat him over the head with, and that he gave them it on a plate rather than having to explain the hype thing. It's a classic thing. I think we've nailed it down to, work hard at your profession, work hard at your technique, make yourself a player that can go and play at the top level. We don't have as much of them.
Some of the best players in the world. Now, I'm not saying you're going to make one of the best players in the world, but as you says, it's simple. Work harder on a training ground, work harder in the gym, and work at your weaknesses. And also work at your strengths as well. A lot of people forget that. Yeah. They just work on weaknesses. Also work what you're good at as well. And it's simple as that for the younger generation coming through. Yeah. And diet, all that sort of stuff's now really, really important. Nutrition side of it.
So we don't take that on board in this show.
No. I feel good that you used to here.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, I mean, we make you look young if it wasn't for that spot you've got on your chin at the moment, which is a real worry for you. I had to mention it, by the way, he's raging.
He's zooming in.
He's raging.
Ruffy actually offered me some makeup.
It was the only way I could. I mean, we can't exactly fight a corner against him.
You're just as well Austin Pears, isn't he, on it? Because he'll be going,
pointing to it. Dear, no, you look fantastic next to us. In fact, any of the guests we invite in look great next to us too. The under-21s. So suddenly, Scott Gemmel's boys are looking good. 2-0 win away in Latvia. Obviously didn't go according to plan against England. But this suddenly gives us a real chance after 2 goals on the night. Oliver Burke, again, a guy that you mentioned, and Oliver McBurney as well.
Well, I think it's important that they've got a good chance. It was disappointing. I was looking forward to I seen actually the highlights of the England game. I didn't see too much of a difference, if I'm being honest. But we have certainly got, in that under-21 group, we've got 3 or 4 players that I certainly think that can get promoted into the full squad. As you mentioned, Bert's been in there. I know he's moved down to West Brom. I know he's not played a lot, but he's certainly one for the future, and there's 2 or 3 that I could mention as well that I've been impressed with over the last few months.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Wright at Aberdeen, I think, Ruffy looks as if he could be a real player as well. And as Barry mentioned, you know, Stevie Mallon, Lewis Morgan is certainly someone that I think, you know, could make that jump in the next couple of years. Yet again, Gordon will have
big enough?
Some players. Well, I'm not. Even you're at it now. You're turning into him. But again, even he could make that jump. Hopefully, he's got the technique anyway. My only problem is, again, we joke about it, but who's coming through? Who's tall, physical? You know, who's going to adopt what we're talking about? Work on your physicality. Work on your strength. Have you got the height? You know, are you a natural centre half? Can you play at the top level, or can you play regularly at a good level that can help Scotland out?
I think Cian Tierney is a role model for all these players that you're talking about. If you think of Cian Tierney a year ago, and then he got that bad injury, and I don't know what he did when he was injured, when he was out for a wee while, but when he came back, physique, he looked different.
100%.
He'd worked on it, you know, and his game was even better when he come back. So I think if you're a young player out there and you want to make it to the top, he's the guy you should be getting a phone or looking at, and whatever he's doing, it's the right thing. And if more of the youngsters could do it, we'll get more through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking now and thinking, a good season with John Souttar not picking up any injuries, he might be able to come up.
Yeah, I like I've seen him a few times. Physically, I don't think he's ready to make that step up, but he's certainly got the ability. I like
physically, does he need to work on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, it looks that way. When you see him on the TV, I've not physically stood beside him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the big boy for Hamilton that's injured just now, the captain that's been out for a while, the centre half. I like him as well, so I think he could make a step up.
I'm trying to remember his name now, Ruffy.
Had him on the show. Devlin.
Michael.
I like him. I've seen him a few times.
Yep.
I know a lot of people are going to say he's only playing with Hamilton Accies, but he's physically, I know he's had a bad injury. I think it's his cruciate done.
I think he would have done a move in the summer, Barry, had he not picked up the injury.
Well, the boy, I keep forgetting his name, the wee boy in the middle of the park for Accies, the wee blonde boy.
Docherty.
No, another one. Crawford.
Yeah.
I think the reason why, I've watched him, I think ability-wise, he's got everything. He gets about the park, can score goals, he can take a touch, he can pass it. I think the reason he's not a move is because of his size.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think, oh, physically. But if you go and watch him, he gets fired in.
Yeah.
And he looks to me, if he works on his game, technically. Physically, I think he's one of the guys that's not going to be the biggest.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players out there that...
But it would be interesting that we've got a game coming up. There is a game going to get planned for next month. That's why the Scotland game, and that's why we don't know whether Gordon's going to be here or Nobby'd here. But it wouldn't matter to me who was here. Let's throw them in.
Let's not forget also we've got the likes of Chris Cadden. We've got Callum Patterson to come back. Callum Patterson scored a hat-trick for the under-23s at Cardiff. He could suddenly get a run in the first team.
But there you go about size. Callum Patterson, he's 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
Big physical guy. Cadden, watched him a lot of times. I've not stood beside the guy, but he looks to me, if he's at least 6 foot, he looks to me if he works very hard at his game. Yeah. On the pitch and off the pitch. So we certainly have got guys that go and blood them and give them a chance and see how they cope with it. You've got to give them the chance first.
But everybody's got to buy into that theory. The supporters have got to buy into it. And this is the way we're going.
Yep.
Listen, if Barry takes any more sighs, you can tell how scunnered he is. He's sighing every 2 minutes on this. That's how passionate we all feel about it. We're going to hear from Chris Cadden's teammate, Louis Moult, next. just had a nightmare on this one. Did you get that one right again?
Of course.
Oh, listen, you know the funny thing about it, he'll be unbearable. He'll go to his mates and say, I'm winning every day, and they're just getting boring.
No, they'll be getting text to watch his show, don't worry.
Okay, 2007, correct, well done, Barry. We're now, at this moment, checking all the records of grandparents anywhere that Louis Molt's heritage could suddenly be Scottish, Ruffy, as well, to help Lee Griffiths out, because he had not a bad month last month, player of the month, and he's got 9 goals already this season. Even if he's going, he's doing his part for Motherwell.
Yeah, I've said this on numerous occasions. It's not all about the goals it's the scoring, it's how he's managed to get his head around everything that was happening before the season started. You know, Barry will tell you when a club comes in for you and you think it's going to go through, and for whatever reason it falls flat on its face, when you've made your mind up that's where you're going and your hopes are built up and it doesn't happen. It takes a really, really strong person to get your head around that and just buckle down and just say, right, okay, it never happened for me. I'm just going to concentrate on my team and my teammates and just do what I'm doing, scoring goals. And all credit to him, I think. Some players, not all players, but a lot of players would just chuck it and just say, well, I never got what I wanted. You know, and then you've got a problem because you've now got a player who isn't 100% for the team. Yeah,
but I think he's the ultimate professional because he knows if he keeps banging in the goals, the better the club he's going to get.
Yeah, well, going back to it with the interest for Aberdeen, obviously the bid get knocked back, but it just shows you what type of attitude he's got. It could have mucked his head up, but he's obviously known it's not going to happen, and he's producing the goods on a Saturday. His goal scoring record's been great this season, but what I will say is the boy up top beside him's been a big help. I've been really impressed with him as well, Bowman.
Yeah.
He runs pretty similar in terms of they run centre backs places where they don't want to go, but he's been impressive. But Louis Moult, for me, he's a natural goal scorer, and he deserves the player of the month.
Yep, and he's been talking about his next move away from Motherwell.
Again, well, I've seen the links, and you know, obviously the bid got rejected, but I tried not to think about it. I think you think about it once something gets accepted. There's no point thinking about it otherwise. I've just got to focus on the here and now, and that's what it's about.
Well, marks to him, he's scoring the goals for Motherwell and they're well pleased with him, and at the end of the day, Ruffy, even although they might not get a transfer fee, he'll save them a fortune if they're still in that league, and I don't think they look, and he's not a one-man team, I don't think they look as if they're a side that are going to be in any kind of relegation trouble.
No, this year, but I think everybody knows the worth of a goal scorer who's going to get you maybe 15, 20 goals. To a team like Motherwell, that's fantastic, you know, that can keep you right out of the danger. And as long as he keeps banging them in, you know, they'll be happy that he's there.
Yep, and of course he's been talking about Motherwell's strong start to the season.
I actually think the Betfred Cup group stages helped us gel faster than we normally would without that competition. You know, just that competitive edge into the games. I think it helps. It's a massive help for us. It's been a help for us, I believe. And I think it probably took us 1 or 2 games, you know, just to, in the friendlies, just to get to know each other and get to know our philosophy as a football club. And I think we figured that out. And I think that's one of our main reasons we're doing well at the minute.
Yep, got a Lanarkshire derby to look forward to. Hamilton against Motherwell. Nice little edge to it as well. It's the type of game you actually would want to go and pay and see because, quite simply, attendances are up in the Premiership in Scotland because there are a number of really attractive fixtures that will get fans out of their seats in through the turnstiles. Yep,
well, obviously being a local boy, Hamilton, I know Hamilton and Motherwell don't really see eye to eye.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to the game. Been really impressed with Motherwell. At the start I wasn't too sure at the start of the season. I'd seen them, they still win the game, but as the seasons went on, that system that he plays, 3-5-2, suits them down to a T, and they're getting stronger every single game. So it'll be a feisty derby, and I'll probably go along and watch it if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I don't know what, I'll need to keep my hat on in terms of I'm wanting obviously Hamilton, but yeah. I see it a tough one. I see it a tough one for Hamilton. I think Motherwell, they're looking strong.
Right, okay. I think the biggest blow for Hamilton, Ruffy, were you laughing there because you thought he's going to go in disguise? Because he has to get in the ground and nobody's allowed to see him.
His allegiance to Hamilton, he would thought maybe just try and turn that round.
I was trying to turn it round.
Exactly. That's called.
That just means I can't get him.
No. That's called the roughy way out. Try and be nice to both, just in case you're in that city or that town. Listen, Gary Woods, Michael Devlin, George Saris, Grant Gillespie, Ali Crawford, David Templeton. Matt McCanney's mentioned he's got a long injury list.
Well, that is, if they're all going to miss the game, he's up against it. But as we all know, I think Barry touched on it, when you throw a Hamilton team onto the park, they give you everything. You know, they're biting in about you. They're not. Doesn't matter who you are, if you're Rangers, Celtic, whoever. You're going to know until you actually get a goal against them that you're going to have to work really, really hard for it, because they're going to chase and hunt everything for the whole 90 minutes.
Yeah, just at one point I wanted to pick up on, because we obviously want fans to come out, go to the games. If they can't go to the games, obviously they're going to stick with us on STV2. Ruffy, there's no real choice. You get all the goals, and of course you get all the updates as well. But Adam Rooney said something which caught my eye today, which was, he said, you know, Aberdeen have kept up with Celtic at the moment and we're still not at our best. Long may it continue.
I seen that comment, and fair play to they've not lost a league game. Again, Dennett McInnes, he lost important players in the summer. He did lose two guys who I thought were their main players in McGinn and Hayes. But I think he's recruited really well. I think they'll take Celtic. I see Celtic winning it. Let's not kid ourselves on. Celtic are too strong. Celtic are far too strong for me. But fair play to Aberdeen. And if he's saying they're no firing on all cylinders just now, well, I'll be looking forward to see them playing at the top of their game. Yeah,
I always think you have to back it up. We've always looked at Aberdeen, and when they slip up, there's a kind of a feeling of, well, you can't back up what you're saying, but they have backed it up early on in the season, and comments like that, confidence brimming. Mark Reynolds mentioning the quality of Ryan Christie and what he's given to them as well.
Yeah, I think we're all just waiting in these big games coming up. Pittodrie, Celtic Pittodrie, Rangers Pittodrie. And that's where we'll all sit and go, right, here you go again. You're up there challenging. Can you go that wee step further? And unfortunately for them, it hasn't happened for whatever reasons. But I think with the mentality that they've got now, I think they'll be harder to beat, particularly at home.
It was interesting, the cup game at Fir Park, where, let's be honest, Motherwell were by far the better team. It just shows you a good team after a bad performance. Aberdeen that night, they went there on the Sunday in the league and churned out a 1-0 win. So that shows a sign of a real good team. When they're not playing at the top of their game, they get beat convincingly on the Thursday night in the cup game, and they go back there and they win 1-0.
And of course, I think great credit to the manager as well, Barry, because he changed things. He tinkered with it to look and think, how do we get a result here?
Yep, I like that about Dell. He came out after the game and he was just brutally honest.
Yeah,
Motherwell were better in all positions. They were first to every single ball. They out-battled us. So he's went away obviously on the Thursday night and the Friday and the Saturday. They've worked at certain things. He's changed the system, changed the personnel, brought the young centre half in as well, and they've come away with 3 points. So that's a sign of a top manager for me.
Yep, we're going to be looking extensively at all four divisions on tomorrow's programme and Friday as well. We'll look in greater detail at St Johnstone against Rangers. You can join us on STV2 at 7:30 tomorrow as well. But just before we finish, I don't know which camp you're in, but I've got to ask you, Ruffy, if you're looking for a world-class player to step up to the plate, we thought it would just be unthinkable for Argentina not to be at the World Cup with Messi. Well, they've still got a bit to do, but boy, did he pull it out of the hat. 1-0 down, he scores a hat-trick.
Yeah, that's we spoke about it earlier. You've got that kind of player in your side. He's the one you look at. He's the one in the dressing room that can turn it around for you, and he's certainly done it again. I do hope we all agree we want them to be at the finals, and we want him. I think it's now the time when he goes to a World Cup final and he grabs a hold of it single-handedly, as all these magnificent players we saw have done, the Maradonas, and I'm sure he can do that.
Yeah, I mean, you get to the point where you're a little bit surprised. You're thinking they're not going to make it. They might have to go to, they might not even make the playoff. But suddenly, Uruguay, Argentina, Colombia are there as well. So Messi will be at the World Cup, which is great.
Yeah, for me, he's the best player I love watching him.
Yeah.
Some of the things he does with our football's mind-boggling.
Is he better than Ronaldo for you?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep.
Where
Ronaldo's bigger and stronger.
But are you going to let that go? Honestly, you're like him.
No, listen, if you put two of them side by side, what is Messi? I played against Messi a couple of times, 5'6", 5'7",
Yeah.
max. Ronaldo's a big boy, but some of the things he does with our footballs.
Tell you one thing that's worrying, Ruffy. He's turning into Gordon Smith. That's 2 name drops on the programme already. Beckham played against him. Lionel Messi played against him as well. It's turning into Smudger. I mean, it's one name drop
Like
after
Ruffy,
another.
I keep hearing about World Cups.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zico's shirt. Okay, it's great having Barry on just to hear big world names that he's played against. He'll be back on next Wednesday with more big names that you haven't heard of before. We're away to work on our physique. Thanks for watching. Good night.